My name is Maya, and I'm 23 years old. Right now, I'm living in this huge, crowded city. A while back, I was attending university. But honestly, I hated every single moment of it. The assignments felt impossible, and each day dragged on endlessly. Eventually, I made a choice. I dropped out. When my mom and dad found out, they were furious. They had big plans for me to finish school, build a solid career, make something of myself. But after my decision, they said something that shook me. We won't be sending you any more money. Suddenly, reality hit hard. I had to cover rent, groceries, everything on my own. Panic set in. My savings. Almost nothing. Living in this massive city, I felt completely isolated. I needed work, but deep down, I wanted something easy, something simple. No stress, no complications. Then a thought crept into my mind, maybe my appearance could open doors for me. Why struggle through years of exhausting effort when I could just look good? Hard work meant endless studying, constant pressure. I didn't want that burden. Designer outfits, a mansion, luxury vehicles, that's what I craved. So I made up my mind. I'd use my looks to attract a wealthy partner who could hand me the comfortable lifestyle I desired. Money was running out fast, so I landed a basic position at this fancy, upscale hotel. My job: stand at the reception counter all day, greet visitors with a bright smile. I studied everyone who walked through those doors. All of them seemed incredibly wealthy, mostly younger businessmen. But there was this one guest who stood out. He visited frequently. Much older, probably around 60. Always dressed in an elegant dark suit. Always sporting a gleaming gold timepiece. His vehicle, long, sleek, and black. This gentleman had serious wealth. His age didn't bother me at all. Was focused entirely on his fortune and what it could provide. One evening, this wealthy older man approached the reception area. He wasn't interested in the computer screen. His eyes were locked on me. This was it. My moment. I straightened up, adjusted my hair carefully. I wanted his full attention on my appearance. I could tell he was intrigued. I'd read about men like him before. They're drawn to attractive younger women. They have deep pockets and enjoy showering gifts on women who charm them. His name was Richard. He stepped closer. He spoke softly. "You're absolutely stunning." I grinned. Immediately, I started flirting. I mentioned that I'm only attracted to men who are powerful, intelligent, and accomplished in their careers. Richard didn't say much more, but his gaze stayed fixed on my features. He reached into his jacket and retrieved a crisp white business card. It displayed his name and contact details. He placed it on the counter and said calmly, "Visit my place this evening. I'd like to continue our conversation." My pulse raced. Excitement rushed through me, but there was also this odd feeling inside. I felt no affection for Richard whatsoever, but his wealth, that consumed my thoughts. I grabbed the card from the desk. Looking directly at him, I replied, "Yes, I'll definitely be there tonight." That evening, I arrived at Richard's residence. The place was enormous. Each room overflowed with luxurious items, furniture, everything screamed money. Richard greeted me warmly. He offered me something to drink, and I accepted. I sat there, taking in all the opulence around me. Richard came back holding 2 glasses. He settled beside me on the couch, very close. Then he picked up a tiny box from the coffee table and opened it. Inside lay a sparkling silver necklace, clearly expensive. Richard said softly, "This belongs to you now, Maya." Pure joy washed over me. I lifted the necklace from its box and fastened it around my throat. "Thank you so much, Richard," I whispered. For a brief moment, I felt like royalty. Later that night, Richard kissed me. When his hands touched mine, something felt off. His skin was rough and aged. But I shut my eyes tight and thought only about the beautiful gift he'd given me. I stayed with him in his bedroom that night. He whispered that I made him feel youthful again, but honestly, his emotions meant nothing to me. Morning came, and I woke up in that enormous bedroom. Going back to that boring hotel job felt unbearable. I thought to myself, I need to stay here permanently. I'll become Richard's spouse. Then everything, this mansion, this fortune, will belong to me forever. I walked over to where Richard stood. Richard, we need to discuss our relationship, I said seriously. Richard turned toward me, waiting. I continued, I want to belong to you completely. I don't want to leave this home. I want to marry you, to remain by your side always. Richard started laughing loud, mocking laughter, as if I'd just told the funniest joke he'd ever heard. Confusion overwhelmed me. Why was my proposal so amusing to him? His laughter died down, and suddenly his expression turned ice. He said bluntly, Maya, you're undeniably beautiful, but you're dreaming way too big here. You need to recognize your position. You enjoyed a pleasant evening, here, that's it. Nothing more. Humiliation crashed over me like a wave. His harsh words cut deep. He'd never once considered me as potential marriage material to him. I was just temporary company. I felt exploited, foolish for believing I could manipulate a wealthy man like Richard into commitment. What a terrible miscalculation on my part. Tears filled my eyes instantly. I walked out of Richard's grand estate, touching the silver necklace still hanging around my neck. Yesterday, this jewelry felt meaningful, special. Now, it felt worthless, like compensation for a regrettable mistake. No employment, no financial support from home, no affluent partner. Complete loneliness consumed me. I desperately needed my family back in my life. I traveled to my parents' home and rang the bell nervously, terrified they'd still be upset enough to reject me completely. Mom answered the door, shock written across her face when she saw me standing there. Dad appeared behind hers, expression stern, unsmiling. Neither showed any hint of welcome or warmth toward me at first glance. My vision blurred, with tears as I looked at both of them, standing there together in silence before finally speaking up. I'm so sorry, I began shakily. I messed up. Terribly, everything was my fault. Completely. I continued explaining how dropping out happened, purely because laziness consumed me. Entirely back then. How chasing shortcuts hurt everyone around me deeply. Dad responded firmly. We warned you, hard work matters more than anything else in life, Maya. I know, Father. I ignored your advice completely, I admitted tearfully. But now, everything makes sense finally. Easy paths don't exist, they only lead to sadness and regret ultimately. Please, give me one final opportunity here. Let me return to university again. I want to study seriously this time. I want to complete what I abandoned so carelessly before. Mom glanced at Dad briefly before wrapping her arms around me. Tightly, it felt like time froze. Entirely in that moment. Dad finally spoke again. We'll support you one last time, Maya. But understand clearly, this is your final chance ever. You must commit yourself seriously now. Promise us. You'll dedicate yourself fully going forward. I nodded rapidly without hesitation. I swear I'll study. Daily, without fail. I'll never chase shortcuts or quick money schemes ever. Again, they welcomed me back inside the house. Felt safe again after so long away. Returning to university felt incredibly strange initially. I'd missed countless lectures already during my absence. Catching up required enormous effort now. My parents covered tuition costs and textbook expenses. Again, but repaying them meant earning excellent grades consistently, plus making smarter decisions moving forward overall. I began studying relentlessly every single day, without exception. Stopped caring about appearances or impressing anyone anymore. My focus shifted entirely toward textbooks and lectures alone now. Sometimes memories of Richard surfaced unexpectedly, his mansion, expensive cars, lavish lifestyle. But mostly, I remembered his cruel laughter when marriage proposals left my lips desperately that morning. The gifts he'd given stayed locked away in a small box somewhere. I never wore them again afterward. They served as reminders constantly. Beauty alone means absolutely nothing without substance behind it. Ultimately, to earn some income independently, I worked part-time at a modest cafe nearby campus. Regular conversations with my parents resumed naturally. They noticed positive changes happening gradually within me over time. They recognized genuine transformation occurring. Finally, after everything that happened previously, I didn't need rescuing by anyone anymore. Worked tirelessly, becoming stronger independently instead. Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, please like the video and share it with someone who needs hope. Subscribe to English Reflections for more simple stories and daily motivation. Until next time, keep learning, keep believing, and keep moving forward. Your best days are coming. Stay blessed.